Hello, welcome to White Birch Tarot and Astrology. This reading is for Saturday, July 4th. I'm going to talk about the astrology, and I think I've pulled the cards, so I might do two separate videos. I'll see how long this goes. There's a lot to talk about, but I'm going to try to keep it brief, so I think I can, and I think I'll do my quote when I start the cards. That way everyone can hear it. So this is the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July if you're in the U.S. My least favorite day of the year. It's so noisy here and I hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to talk about several things because there's so much happening. And when I posted last time, and pardon my voice, I have terrible allergies today. When I posted last time, I forgot to say, I posted on the Capricorn full moon, excuse me, forgot to say that Mercury went retrograde in Cancer at 25 degrees. Or I think that happened today, actually. I'm not sure. I've been in my mind's been in Mercury retrograde for like 2 weeks. And Jupiter went into Leo. I think that happened on the 1st. That's what I've written down anyway. So what I'm going to talk about is, well, anyway, Mercury going retrograde in Cancer, it just perpetuates that nostalgic sort of childhood review and emotional nurturing review that we've sort of been going through for a long time. And let's see, I've got that it's at 25 degrees of Cancer on the 4th, which is what I'm doing this for. I'm doing this on the 4th, just barely. And let's see. I'm going to talk about, sorry, I'm discombobulated. Okay, let's start with Mars conjunct Uranus, which happens also on the 4th at 3 degrees of Gemini. Gemini is an air sign. It's mutable, so it's flexible. So they say. I'm not so sure about that. Mars is the planet of action, physical action, desires, and to a certain extent, arguments and, battles and savior energy. Being, what's the word I was thinking? I was describing myself. What's the word, like when you want to jump in and save it? But like now, of course, I can't think of it. A crusader, crusading energy. And Uranus is, rules Aquarius and is, something sudden, unexpected, unconventional. When they're in Gemini like this together, oh, I'm supposed to be pointing. I'm not supposed to be, but I normally do. So here they are together in Gemini, 3 degrees and 4 degrees. This can bring some unexpected information, like in a very real way. Okay, well, information always comes in a real way, but I mean, you could read it, but you could hear it from someone, or something could happen in the physical that teaches you something that you weren't expecting. And you can also get into arguments and have disagreements with people. You can say things that you didn't really mean to say. Things can sort of pop out of your mouth accidentally, quickly, and you might regret them. But it's also a time when certain things kind of need to be said, if that makes any sense, to show you things that need to be, like revelations, and you can have breakthroughs, but it can also be too impulsive and you can make decisions too suddenly. So just try to take a pause before you say anything or respond to someone. But if you feel like you need to, you might need to. And I guarantee there will be some kind of aha moments. At least I'm experiencing that, and I think that will happen, especially depending on where that falls in your chart. So there's that. And then we have Jupiter here at 1 degree of Leo. Where's Chiron? Here we go. Squaring. I didn't draw. You know what? That didn't come up. Why did that not come up? 30, 60, 90. You know what? That didn't come up on the, it didn't come up on the chart, and I didn't draw it in, but it's true. So Chiron is in Taurus, Jupiter is in Leo. So Jupiter just moved into Leo. That makes us want to expand our self-expression, our creativity, our inner child. We want to be seen. We want to be admired. We want to do something that people will recognize. It's really expansive. You want to be creative and you want to share it. Now, when it's squaring Chiron in Taurus, it's bumping up against this uncomfortable, wounded part of ourselves that has to do with body image, self-worth, security issues, possibly even issues around food and eating, sensuality even. So, you know, we want to put it all out there and, you know, paint a painting or write a poem and to just tell people exactly how we feel. But the question of self-worth, you know, do I deserve to be admired? Or well, what if they see this about me? What if they what if they see the wound? Well, that's probably the part they will relate to be honest with you. That can be very, it's difficult to be vulnerable like that, but that can be very interesting for people, and interesting is the wrong word, but it can be healing for people, and it can be healing for you. So let some of it out. You know, maybe show some of the wound. You know, be careful, but anyway, I forgot to draw that in. And what is this that I'm seeing? You're like, is she seeing this for the first time? No, I'm not. I'm just goofy. 36. Okay, we have a sextile, which I drew in but forgot to consider, between Jupiter in Leo and this Mars-Uranus conjunction in Gemini. So we have some revelation. Someone can say something, or we could read something or hear something that actually helps us get in touch with this inner child energy and this part of ourselves that wants to be creative and expressive and be admired. And we could just suddenly say something that maybe we've never shown before, something that, you know, Leo rules the heart, and it's ruled by the sun. And it's, you know, I love what they say about, I know I'm all over the place here. I love what they say about the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Aries is a bonfire. It loves beginnings. It's initially just like, I'm all in, you know, the Fool. I'm going to jump in. And it loves beginning things. Not so good at finishing things, always, but loves that initial, you know, spark. So that's why they call it a bonfire. It goes whoosh. Then it kind of dies down. Then Leo is the sun. It's a steady light. It's a fixed sign. So that's why its planetary ruler is the sun. Aries is ruled by Mars. So this is a steady light. That's why Leo rules loyalty. And then Sagittarius is compared to a flickering candle. And I love that because that describes Sagittarius energy to me. It's like on, and then, you know, and then it kind of fades, and then it finds another thing to be excited about, and then it kind of fades. There's always a rekindling of the flame, but it likes freedom. It's not going to stay on, you know. I know that. I actually have a lot of fire. I have all three of those fires in my chart, so I get that. That's true about those, I think. I can't remember where I read that, but so yeah, so there's going to be some unexpected, you might be expressing things that you didn't know you were going to express, and someone else might be doing something or saying something where you go, oh, I didn't know that about you, or I didn't know that about the situation. Now I see things more clearly. Yeah. And I think I will wait. We have Jupiter's approaching in opposition to Pluto. I think I'll talk about that some other night. And Neptune is getting ready to go retrograde on July 7th until December 12th. Oh, that's weird, isn't it? 7-7, and then it goes direct on 12-12. Huh, interesting. It's going to go retrograde at 4 degrees of Aries and go back to 1 degree of Aries. And then in December it goes forward again. Okay, so I will talk about that later. But we have enough. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot here. So, and if you notice, well, we still have this mini grand trine, but if you notice, there's this weird thing called a cradle. See that how the top is the red line? It goes like this. I don't know much about that. I'm going to have to study that because honestly, it's mostly the outer planets, although Jupiter's involved. So, well, and actually so's Mars right now, but he'll probably be off it in a few days. Anyway, I'll talk about that later. I hope that wasn't too confusing. I'm just kind of, I don't know. Okay, did I say everything that I wanted to say about that? Yes, I will talk about the Neptune going retrograde later. Okay, we're at 11 minutes, so I think I'll just, do I want to stop? It uploads more quickly if I stop. I can't make a decision tonight. What is wrong with me? I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. So it's a long video. That's okay. Okay, now I'm going to read the quotes. It is from the astrologer Rob Brezhny. I've talked about him before. I love this. He said, "Your habits are prophecies written in pencil." Think about that. That's good, isn't it? And true. Okay, I meant to look at my last reading for the full moon, and I didn't, but I think I remember because I got a similar card in the same place, and something else has shifted, but it's still there. So this is our overall energy. This is the Oak, Ash, and Thorn deck by Three Trees Tarot. This is us, Knight of Swords. Yes, this is information flowing in, but if you'll notice, he's blindfolded. So much information is coming in that he doesn't quite know what to do with it yet. It's kind of wonky because we've got Mercury retrograde. So just be careful with your thoughts. Be careful with your speech. But again, as I said, there are certain things you might need to say. But here comes some information. Be prepared for that. And you might have that feeling of, I don't know what to do with this information and it's coming at me so fast, I'm not sure what to do. That's okay. Then what do we need to let go of? We got this last time. And it was with the King of Pentacles, wasn't it? Or was it? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, so we're supposed to let go of control. We're supposed to not be the one, shouldn't swing my leg there, it makes everything rock. We are not in control. If you can see that there's the ram's head, the Emperor is traditionally Aries energy. So it's about not really being the authority, like trusting in something larger than yourself to be in control right now, being comfortable not being in control, trying not to control others. Yeah, because when we get a lot of this outer planet energy, there's a desire. You're like, I want stability. Well, no, right now it's not so much. Okay, then what do we need to move toward? And I got the star, and this was the challenge on the full moon in Capricorn reading. So it's moved from the challenge to what we need to move toward. So this, I think, is us trusting when Neptune goes retrograde in a few days. This is us trusting that there is guidance. Even though you might not feel it right now, we're moving toward being guided. But, that's in front of us. We're moving that way. So you might feel a little, I think we could feel a little lost right now with the blinded Knight of Swords there. Not blinded, but blindfolded, I should say. He's not blinded. We're moving towards something that's going to give us some guidance. Hopefully. Okay, and then I said, what's the challenge? And look who we get. We get Death. So the challenge is to transform, to let go of old thought patterns, old habit patterns. You know, that was an appropriate quote. I didn't think about that. I chose the quote before I drew the cards. But yeah, our habits are prophecies written in pencil. They don't have to come true. So we can let go, we can transform, but our challenge is to allow that and not to try to control it, because you can't always. Things change. Yeah, surprise, bet you didn't know that. And then I drew, this card came out first, and I thought, how could this possibly be our blessing? The Nine of Swords, where, you know, you're just, it's usually the worry card. And this one, it kind of looks like the bird has just had so many messages, so much information coming in that he or she just can't even, it's like, I just can't take this anymore. I don't know what to think. It's usually the worry card. This bird doesn't necessarily look worried, but looks like overloaded, exhausted, too much information. What do I do? So I drew a clarifier. And remember, this is the blessing card, the blessing spot in the reading. And I got the Four of Pentacles, and I thought, oh, okay. So it's saying, I think, this is my interpretation. Tell me if you see something different. I think it's saying that something worrisome might come to our attention, something unpleasant, but it's a warning, which is a blessing, because we needed to know it. We need to know it. And it's about keeping yourself stable, staying secure, not jumping, you know, like I said, with Mars conjunct Uranus and Gemini, you can, you know, open your mouth and say something you didn't mean to say. This is about staying steady. It's also about watching your money. Yeah, hang on to your possessions and your money. And I'm just feeling like, since these came out kind of together, I mean, this was a clarifier, but I feel like the worry that comes in was necessary. We needed that. Something needed to be brought to our attention. Let's just put it that way. Oh, this dreadful weather. Excuse me. 1 minute I'm roasting, and the next I'm putting on a sweater when the air conditioner comes on. Okay. Enough complaining. I'm lucky to have air conditioning. Very lucky. Well, you would die here without it, so people do. Then I pulled, I was going to pull a card for each element, and it just didn't work out. So I ended up pulling 2 fairy cards, and I got the Lady of Leprechauns, who honestly, I don't really like this card. And here's why I don't like it. Because it's so tricky. She's the ruler of the leprechauns, okay? And they're notoriously tricky. So is she, because she's their, you know, leader, I guess, what would you call, she's their lady. Anyway, so she holds 2 gifts. She holds the knowledge of the future, which could be, you know, do you really want that? Because what if you really knew? You know, I always think to myself, oh, I wish I would have known that. And then I think, no, I would never have, you know, enjoyed myself. I would have been waiting and worrying for that to come around. So knowledge of the future is not always good. She said reading tarot cards and talking, no, that's different. I'm not telling the future. Our prophecies are written in pencil. Some of them. Actually, I do believe in fate. Okay, so, and then she also holds this prism here, which is clear-sightedness. And that's a good thing, right? To see things with clarity. And that's this Uranus conjunct Mars in Gemini, Uranus in Gemini even. But the prism is multifaceted, so it's also many, many different ways to look at the same thing, which can be confusing. So it's like you can have some foresight, you can have some knowledge of the future and some information, but it's tricky. So if you want it, okay, but just remember, you might be sorry you found out. I know, that's why I don't care for this card. But it's kind of, again, it's kind of a warning. Don't believe everything you hear, and don't act on everything you hear. Okay, and then we got the hidden one. This is another very tricky card, because she's the one that trips you up But she does it, and let me read from the, she does it to catch your attention. So there are several indicators here that there's something that we're missing. We might be missing something that needs our attention. It says awareness, attention, and self-absorption. If you don't watch, if you don't look, if you don't see this time, she'll make sure that the next time you do. Fairy sends her out when you are persistently unaware of your surroundings, when you don't pay attention to what is going on around you, not just physically, but emotionally as well. How are your actions affecting or not affecting everything around you? Are you blindly passing through the day, through relationships, and through life itself? Ooh, she'll trip you up and make you stop and pay attention. That's her job, and she's good at it, so be aware. The hidden one may be waiting for the next step you take. Well, that is really funny, because I've probably told some of you this already, but yesterday when I was cleaning out the garage, I not only splashed brake fluid all over myself and the floor, but then I was moving out a trash bin, and it was so heavy I was pushing it with my foot. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did, but I dislodged my toenail on my big toe, and I looked down and my foot was covered with blood and brake fluid, and I'm like, what? The indignity. And things have been that way for me for like a week, so I'm just saying, if you didn't listen to the astrology part, with Mars together with Uranus, just be careful of accidents. Generally in Gemini, it's something verbal, but it can be physical too. So I'm just saying, okay, just be careful. So I will leave you with that, and I think I will try to do another reading in a couple of days, because we have some more stuff coming up. It's just, the planets just won't stop. They continue to move. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how this resonates, and please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. And I will talk to you later. Thank you. Blessings. Good night.